love highlighter. Highlighter can make you look so youthful and glowy and just make your skin look so healthy and hydrated. The problem is, I see too many people these days walking around looking like disco balls, just like glimmering and shining all over the place, and you're not really supposed to look like that. So today, we're gonna break down different highlighters and I'm gonna show you how to use them. There are three basic types of highlighters. There's powder, which tends to be the most popular. There's liquid, and then there's cream, which can actually be very, very different. First, let's talk about liquid because it tends to be the most versatile, but it tends to be also the one that I see people do wrong the most. There are lots of different ways to use liquid, but the way to think of liquid is more of a luminizer. Liquids tend to be more like what give your skin a glow, like a healthy glow from like within. That's why liquid highlighter can sometimes go wrong, because if you put too much of it on your face, you can look like a disco ball. I mean, same with powder, but you can put this all over the place, or you can even just mess up your makeup, and that's something you don't want to do. One that I tend to use a lot is this one from Peter Thomas Roth. It's more of a moisturizer, to be honest, but when you put it on, it has this really beautiful, bold, golden glow. So what I tend to do with this one is I put it on my skin right before I put foundation on instead of mixing it together, and I just put it in the places where I'm gonna want that extra glow, and then you don't really know that I have it on under my foundation. But other things you can do with these, for instance, from Algenist, they're concentrated luminizing drops, and I love actually that they call them luminizing drops because it really just tells you it's just gonna give you a little added glow, and you can mix this with your foundation. You just don't want to go overboard with it because you can mix too much. You only need like a drop or two depending on the different formula you're using. Another reason to use liquid highlighter is if you have dry skin, you don't want to use a powder because that can actually make the texture of your skin really stand out. So if you use a liquid, then it can actually look a little bit more glowy and youthful and even maybe hydrated. So the biggest mistake that I see people make with liquid highlighter is that they use too much of it, or they just don't know how to use it. The second mistake that I see the most is people try to use it after they already have most of their makeup on. That's not to say that you shouldn't do that. I actually know a lot of makeup artists that do that. Nikki, my makeup artist, does it all the time, but I think it's a little bit harder to blend a liquid highlighter if you already have all your makeup on, because what you can end up doing is actually like taking your makeup off, and you don't want to do that. I'm actually gonna have Nikki, my makeup artist, do it for me and show you guys the right way to do it. All right, Nikki, what is the trick?
It definitely takes more getting used to. It's something you have to like play with, but you have to have like the right touch. Like if you're too rough and aggressive with it, you'll move all your foundation, you'll move your blush, your concealer. You want to just kind of like take a little bit. I usually put on the back of my hand and I use a wet beauty blender.
You know what I've done before is I've tried to use like a brush.
No,
and the brush definitely moves it, right?
You'd be better off using like your fingertips really lightly and just patting it on where you want. So I'm gonna take the side of my beauty blender, you might more, and you just kind of want to press it in. So just the high point of your cheekbone.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah, so you just want to kind of tap it on top of your makeup. That way you're not moving anything, you're just kind of adding to it. I love liquids for like the bridge of the nose.
All right, let's talk about powder, which is the most common highlighter out there. I think powder highlighter is just so popular these days, and with good reason. It really stands out on your skin. It's great for people that have oily skin, combination skin, even normal skin, and it just really gives you that pop. There are also powders these days that are meant to give more of like a luminizing ambient glow, kind of like if you were using a luminizer, but they're so much better for people who do have oily skin. One that I really, really like is this new one from Laura Mercier. They basically took their popular translucent powder and then they gave it a little bit of a glow, and the way you apply it is super nice. It's translucent setting powder. It's not meant to be your normal everyday setting powder. It's actually supposed to go on after you've set your makeup, and it really is. It's just supposed to kind of give you like a filtered look to your skin. The way you apply it is you use the brush that they give you, but I'm pretty sure you could use any real like big poofy brush or a bronzer kind of brush, and you're gonna apply it after you've set all of your makeup, maybe right before you put on your blush, but you're gonna put on all of your foundation and everything and all your skin makeup, and then you're gonna put this on to give you that extra glow, but it's very, very subtle. You don't wanna put it all over the place, and it's not gonna make up for that bam kind of glow that you're looking for with a lot of other powders. Something else that's important to point out about different highlighters and luminizers is that they come in different tones and shades. A lot of people wear the wrong tone for their skin tone. I tend to have a little bit of a golden undertone, and so I like golden or champagne colored luminizers and highlighters like this one from Algenist, or there's even this one from Trestique that has like that golden glow to it. And that really complements your skin because you just want to look like you have a healthy glow coming off of your skin. You don't want to look like you're from a different planet or you look like you're trying to wear a costume or something like that. And that's where wearing the right color really comes in handy. If you have a lighter skin tone, that's where you want to go a little bit more ethereal, you know, with it. Like, I feel like if you have like those rosy pink undertones, or you have just like really porcelain skin, then you want to wear something that's a little bit more on the lighter side, on the cooler side of the luminizing drops, or in this case, like this one from Trestique. And if you have really dark skin, then you can really go to town with the colors because you can actually choose different colors and everything can look good on you depending on how you wear your makeup in general. But you have to be really, really careful because if you wear too much highlighter, it really stands out on your skin. My tip to apply highlighter is to start really light with it, kind of like applying eyeshadow. You don't want to go too heavy with it and then not be able to remove what you put on. And I think that is exactly what ends up happening with a lot of people is they go really heavy-handed with their highlighter and then they just have too much on after that and they can't really blend it or get rid of it. So instead you want to start lightly and then just add to it and layer it. When it comes to powder, I tend to use a brush to apply it. You want to either go with a fan brush. This is more of like the traditional way to apply it. And it really just kind of gives you that little bit of highlight that you want. But what I noticed that Nikki does a lot is that she uses a brush like this and this packs it on more. I think it also gets it exactly where she wants it. She's always very, very specific, but she's also a makeup artist. If you're more of a novice with highlighter, I'd start with this kind of a brush. And once you got it down, I'd go with this kind of a brush. Highlighter is meant for the high points of your face. So you want to apply it to places like above your brow bone, on your brow bone. You can put it on the tops of your cheekbones. You can put it on the tip of your nose, on your cupid's bow, and even a little bit right here on your chin. And it looks really, really pretty. And then there are cream highlighters, and I feel like these are the ones that people tend to skip over because they don't know how to use them. Just like cream blush, I feel like people get a little bit confused on how to use them. They're more of a hybrid of a powder and a luminizer or a liquid highlighter. It looks a little bit more natural, it gives you a little bit more of a glow. It's a little bit more targeted, but you do have to blend it, and I know a lot of people tend to use their fingers to apply it, so then it stands out a little bit more. The consistency is always like really smooth and soft and it can be very pretty. I tend to just use my fingers with the cream, and just like a liquid, you just want a little bit and you just want to tap it, like right onto the high points of your face. Just like that. It's very, very simple. But I do tend to think they look the most natural and they blend the easiest too. A couple of tips about cream highlighter is if you want, you can actually take a little bit and warm it up with your finger so that it blends a little bit easier and then pat it on. And I think that's really, really helpful because it can leave actually a harsh line. And I think that's why people tend to skip cream highlighters is because they end up seeing like a harsh line when they use it and they have to blend it a lot more. Another tip, which is not what I'm doing right now, but you should always put it on top of your foundation before you put on all your powders and your blush and all that kind of stuff. You should put it on before you actually use any kind of powder makeup because you are using cream, so powder is going to end up setting it, so you don't want to put cream on top of your powders. Another way to use them is to put them on the inner corner of your eye, and it looks really pretty. I'd say the one reason I would not recommend cream highlighter is because just like a cream concealer, it tends to settle into like the texture of your skin. So even for someone like me, I tend to think that I have a pretty good texture to my skin, but as cream starts to settle, it really does start to show off that texture to me. So those are the basics about highlighters. There's obviously a lot more, and you know, the thing that I always want to say to people is you have to practice, right? Highlighters are not just super easy and you knock it out and you're done. It's like you have to keep using them, you have to keep playing with them, and you have to figure out what works for you. I think cream's my least favorite, and I think liquid happens to be my absolute favorite because I just like to have that really beautiful lit from within look. I hope this video was helpful. Give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.